what are you doing? And she pointed the finger at the people. Because we have supporters. They understand, they read that stuff, they understand. And that's what wakes people up. And it's like this, I put it like this. They've been boiling the pot with the frog in it thousands of years, slowly, bit by bit by bit by bit. We need to reverse that. How do we do it? Every person who wakes up wants an ice cube dropping into that water, bringing it down 1 degree, half a degree, 1 degree. It's going to take time. They've had thousands of years. Look at the change we've made in such a short time. It's not massive change. It's not change that is going to change things overnight. But it has made change. They made laws here to stop us. They made laws all over this country to stop people. And they keep piling these laws on. These laws are working against them because we're smart. We hold them accountable. And we've got to continue holding them accountable and wake that person up, one person at a time. You know, it's so many people now have come forward who were totally against this style of thing and what we were saying, and now going, wow. I had a guy make a statement to me the other day. I've never felt the same since that day that I had the forced medical procedure. And he regrets it, but he was actually an advocate for it. And now he's not an advocate against it so much, but he realises that it was a mistake. There was people with religions who don't believe in medical science who did it against their religion, and they're like, whoa, big wake up. But everyone here in the grapevine, this was not really official, and yet look at all the people that you see that are here that have just filled it in. It's just the family, the family. This is the family. Well, that gave me goosebumps.
We are family.
We are family. And we're all here for each other, and we know that at any stage, if we needed help, we could just put the call out, and it wouldn't matter where or when, someone would come to the door to help you out. Someone, because family does that for family. And this is real family. I mean, a lot of us probably have family that extradited us for our own opinions. We went through what is probably the toughest psychological attack on the human race for a long time, probably forever, and we went through it and we survived because we stood behind our moral standards and opinions with our hand on our chest, our country at mind. And we survived it. You know, we were extradited, we were, told we couldn't do this, couldn't do that. You know what? Most of us went, we don't need that shit. In fact, we don't use those places anyway, most of us. We don't need to go there. So many people told me, I've lost everything and I've never felt more alive. I've lost my house. I've lost my job. I've lost most of my possessions and I've never felt better. Because it brought us back to our true roots of what we are. We don't need that stuff. That's them creating the monster that they can control. A guy called me up the other day, he's having some legal issues with some things. First thing I asked him, do you have dependents? Do you have a wife? Do you have children? He said, I've got a 6-year-old daughter. I said, they've got you. They've got you because you have dependents. You can't stand completely on your own. I said, your responsibility is your daughter. You might have to cop a few so that you can raise your daughter. If you can raise your daughter morals and standards, I said, if they take her off you, they've won because they will indoctrinate her and she will become the person you don't want her to be. But be the man, take the hit and bring your daughter up the right way. That's how you do it. We don't all have to stand in the limelight fighting against the front line. We can bring up the next generation that fights them. You know, my theory on world wars was that they were trying to eliminate morals and standards. They took all the young viral men who had massive morals and standards, some of them 14-year-old lying about their age just to stand for what they thought was the truth, which we now know was a lie. And that was them eliminating all those morals and standards. All these single mums that were created from those wars, that was their ability to, those mums had to work to survive, so then they had control of those kids and they could indoctrinate them. That's what the World War was about, I believe.
Shame.
Shame.
Shame on them.
You know, so if you have a dependent, spend your life with the responsibility of your dependent. If you put your hand up for dependents, you put your hand up for a lifetime and train them and teach them and show them. I was unsure how my son would react to it, and I never mentioned anything. And then one day I said to him, what do you think about this forced medical procedure? And he said, Dad, if they have to give away $1 million to talk you into it, competition, there's something wrong. And I said, good boy, good boy. And you wouldn't pass him as the sharpest tool in the shed sometimes. Other times he's amazing. But that was one of the examples. Just morals and standards. He knew that if they were giving away competition money, there was a problem there. Because that wasn't a moral thing to do or the right thing to do. So if they have to convince people with $1 million, there's something definitely wrong. But it's amazing to see all you guys. 3 years. Who would have thought 3 years? Came down here on a whim. Most of us struggled to get here. You know, as soon as the convoy started, what did they do? Jack the price of fuel up. These are people that had nothing. They'd sacrificed everything. You know, there's people standing in this crowd who literally, their life is completely different to what it used to be. Well, it would be anyway, but I mean, you know what I mean. They've lost everything, but gained everything. And it's amazing that the walks of life we all come from, it didn't matter. It was the way we thought, and it was the way our heart thought. So thank you all for being here on 3 years. I mean, 1,000 Day was cool the other day, but that was 1,000 Days. This is 3 years. This is an anniversary. Just remember, the fight's not here. The front line is here, but the fight's not here. The fight is in here and in here. And we need to bring up the next generation. We need to wake up the generation that's there now. We need to wake every single person up one at a time. And they might not completely flip over and realise that the whole system is out there to get them or to cause problems or control them. That's not what you need to do. You just need to plant the seed that something's not right.
That's my
These
cutie.
guys are doing the wrong thing in all different places, pretty much everywhere. And it will grow. It'll grow. Like, there's a YouTube channel called Punters Politics, man. He's great. He doesn't put any flip or spin on the story, but he just shows people what's not right. What they're doing that's not right in the politics. And that will
Despair.
filter down to other things. They go, well, if they're not doing things right there, what are they doing at the
Basil.
local level? Then they look at the local level and go, well, if they're not doing that right,
Whoop.
what else is happening? And the next thing you know, they're neck deep in the rabbit hole trying to get out. Once they're in, they're not out. There's no out of the rabbit hole. There's people who choose to ignore the rabbit hole after they've been down it, but it just eats away at their mind the whole time. They don't get away. Right, we're running a bit late, so well, time's a construct for them. Why do they make the time construct? Because they need to find a way to charge you for the labour you give them for something you can't get back, and that's your time. So debt slavery, they say, oh, you're free now, don't work. Better survive, get some of this money and give us half, or more than half. Hey? Yeah, it's about 73% or something like that. It works out in the long run. Yeah, it's not much you get out of it. But most of us people here probably aren't living in that debt slavery. Most of us have found other ways to survive, other ways to live. But then again, you know, like the registration thing, I've been, you know, going down that rabbit hole quite a bit. I've done both unregistered, registered, driving not registered cars, a whole lot. And then a friend of mine's been having some issues with the not registered thing, and at one stage he was parked up for quite a while his car because he didn't want them to take his car because he lived in it. And then I had the realisation, how free is he? He can't move, he can't do anything. And that was when I realised, I said to him, maybe the bribe of $1,000 a year is better so that we can travel and wake up people than fighting them in court individually. You know what I mean? Yeah, I can guarantee during the Second World War, the French revolutionists, they would have had false papers and all sorts of stuff, so they could travel around the country and cause problems. They would have played the game. And that's what we've got to do. We've got to be smart fighters, not just fighters. Smart fighters. We can be in their face. They've got the biggest stick at the moment. So you don't fight them stick on stick because they've got a bigger one. Fight them the other way. So sometimes the bribe of leave me alone, police officer bribe of the square thing on the front of your car or back of your car. Right, Karen, little Karen that used to be here, she had written next to it, registered under duress with the corporation, right beside the number plate. Perfect. She could travel, wake people up. Anybody who's seen her Commodore would realise it's got stuff written all over it, big flag on the bonnet, a whole lot. She could travel and wake people up for a small fee. It hurts them more than what that small fee hurts us. Well and truly. Right, let's get into it. Let's start with the ode.